Hi everybody, we're going to get started with our September Club Q. This kit is called Happiness Starts Here. I typically in September do a little more like fall colors and stuff like that, but I was excited to use this paper because it was designed for our private reserve 3-day scrapbook events that we do. And as soon as it came in, I wanted to make something with it. So we have this brand new paper for September, and part of it is called, I think most of this is from the Secret Garden line. Some of it is from the Forget Me Not line. So this blue is actually from the Forget Me Not line. But what I love about these two paper lines is that they coordinate. So you can use different blues from each line. There's oranges, yellows, purples, a little bit of everything in there. So these lines are kind of fun. We actually have the two paper packs on the website now. So there's lots of fun colors in there, so you can go more towards purples, blues, yellows, oranges. Anyway, those two paper packs, they're now on our website, and if you went to our 3-day scrapbook events, then you have some pages made out of those lines in your album that you made at the events. Okay, so we are going to get started. This kit suggests your Royal Blue and Manzanita Powder Puff chalking inks, but I am actually going to use, I have Summer Days, which is a yellow. I have Deep Sea, which is a dark blue. And I have Huckleberry, which is like kind of a dark purple. It looks blue on there, but it's actually comes out purplish. So you just decide what works for you. I'm going to use some yellows and blues, maybe add a little purple in. And as always, we're going to get the cutting out of the way first. So it looks like there's only one cutting diagram, and it looks like this. So go ahead and get that out. I'm going to move these instructions out of the way. I'm going to get out my trimmer. And I always set my cutting diagram just to the side here so I can see what I'm doing. And we want to grab the blue paper, and we're going to do this 4-inch cut first and then cut it in half into 6 inches. So, and it doesn't matter which direction because we will only be using this blue side. So in at 4 inches, and trim. Then we're going to turn that piece and cut it at 6. So we have two 4x6 pieces. The one that is left, we are going to put in this way, and they are going to be 6.5. Put it right at 6.5. And this is long way. We're going to trim it 6.5. And this is just extra here. So you can hang on to that to use on different pages or get rid of that. I know we usually use lots of scraps from our kits, but that is a piece we don't use. Then we'll turn it sideways and we'll do 4.5. We want two 4.5-inch pieces. So 4.5 by 6.5. And then you can decide to use whichever side of the paper you want here. If you want more light blue, you want more dark blue. It has this little kind of roughed up side here. I'm going to use that part. Put it in at 4.5 and trim. That is just left over. That would make a good tag on a page somewhere if you want to save it. Okay, 4.5 by 6.5. And really that's all the cutting there is. The only other thing you need to cut out, and feel free to hit pause and start again whenever you are ready, but I trimmed out, and actually I just fussy cut these because they were real easy cuts, but I trimmed out all the words and journaling pieces. So if you want to go ahead and cut those out. And on some of these, it still has a little bit of the white line. I cut it off just a little bit, but it won't matter because I'm just going to use the chalk and I'm going to chalk up the edge and you won't even know it. So go ahead and cut those pieces out. And while you're doing that, I'm going to get my background papers out and ready to go. And like I always say, this is why videos are great. You go at your own pace. Hit pause as you need to. I'm going to try and kind of work on these together at the same time so that hopefully you could see both of those in the screen there. So we have two background papers. And go ahead and chalk things up as we go whenever you want to, or hit pause and chalk things up. I will do some of the chalking on here, but I'm going to punch out some of these die cuts and put them in piles. But I probably won't chalk everything up as we go. You feel free to hit pause and do it as you go before you glue things down. I'm just going to punch out all these while you're cutting out your pieces there. And I usually just keep these in by color, in piles by color. Some of this stuff we won't be using. A lot of times we do use the negative parts of these for little frames and stuff, but this time we will not be. So you can save those or not. See, this one has a little extra piece that's big enough to make a tag out of also if you want to use that for something. But it's not necessary for this one. And I'm looking for my scissors here. Because the only other cutting I think we'll be doing is your ribbon into 5-inch pieces. So what I do is I just measure, I already put my cutter away, but I just measure it 5 pieces, or 5 inches and cut. 5 inches and cut. 5. And I just did mine in abouts and I will make it work, but you can measure these out and you should have 5 5-inch pieces. Set those aside. I honestly can't believe it's mid-September already. Summer flew by. Kids are all back in school, and I thought things would slow down at this point, but they haven't. We're still running from one sporting event to the next, and school stuff, and still busy. It's so nice right now in September. We have like beautiful weather in Washington, where we are anyway. Okay, and then once you get these all punched out, we will just start layering pieces onto the page. If you're new to Club Q, the great thing about Club Q is we try really hard to kind of have things pre-cut for you for the most part, and really simple instructions so that they're easy to put together. We know it is really easy to kind of get backed up on your monthly kits, so the easier we make it to put them together, the better. And hopefully they just go together quickly. You have the perfect pictures. Okay, I think I have everything punched out. I'm going to grab the 7 instructions here. so the first step we're going to do is actually on page 1, we are going to do this banner piece right here. And instead of having one long banner where it just kind of wastes paper that you don't see, we have 2 ends that we are going to put in there. And what I would do, I don't have a ruler with me, but I would just measure in, let's see exactly what it says on here, but 1 1/4. So from this side, measure in, make a little, tiny little dot maybe with your pencil at 1 1/4. And then you're going to have it almost to the top there, so maybe like 1/4 of an inch from the top. But to make sure that these are all lined up, I would measure in 1 1/4 on each side. Mine might be a little bit off. But I'm going to chalk these up a little bit. I'm going to try and see if Summer Days shows up on this just to kind of brighten up the ends. Oh, it does. So you can brighten up this paper. I'm using Summer Days. There's also Dandelion. One of our older yellows is Chunky Monkey from the ice cream collection. That one would be really nice. Oranges would also look really pretty on here, or blues. So up to you. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. A lot of times I don't, I get things laid out on my page first. I'm just using a few dots of this Barely Art glue, which we have back in stock now on our website. It sells really fast, so it's hard to keep in stock, but we should have it on our website right now. The stuff is wonderful. You just need a few dots and it holds it in place. So about 1/4 of an inch from the top and 1 1/4 inches from the right side. Chalk this one up. The thing about using the same color on the same color paper, yellow on yellow, you can be as messy as you want and you can't tell any mistakes there. So you just kind of get messy. My glue's almost out. A few dots there. This goes almost to the bottom, about 1/4 of an inch again. And if you want to just lay things out, you can, so that you can see exactly where you want your pictures to go. I'm actually going to glue these on right now because it just kind of gets them out, some of the smaller die cuts out of the way. This is just a decorative piece for the corner. And I put it about 1/4 of an inch from the left and 1/4 of an inch from the top. And then one down here. It looks like I put this down a little too far. You can go right over top of that, it won't matter. Or if you can pull up the bottom or move it up if you want to. A lot of times I use my ATG gun and it's really easy to pull up. I'm gonna add just a few more dots here. Move that up just a little. If you've already glued it down, no worries. It can go right over or under the banner, so nobody will know the difference. Okay, so for the background pieces, you will want on this page, there's 2 pieces that were cut out like this. They have small flowers on the back, yellow with small flowers. These are going to be your photo backers for this page. And now I'm going to just lay things out a little bit so that I can have them exactly where I want them before I glue them down. And then on this page, you want the 2 bigger blue photo mats. Let me make sure that that is correct. Yes. So these are go on. These are 4.5 by 6.5, and they go on this yellow backer. And the reason I'm not gluing this totally down right now is because we actually have tags that are going to tuck into those pockets. And once you get your photo on here, we want to make sure and not cover up your photo with those tags. So let me get those tags out. Okay, we have one larger tag, and that actually has a smaller tag. And you can save this piece if you want. It actually is a good piece for a tag on another page. So this one goes right on top of here. And what I would do if you don't have your picture in there yet, what I would do is just barely tack down the top so that you know where it goes, and you can lift this up and put a picture underneath. So I'm going to just barely tack that down on there at the top for now, so that when I find the picture I want in there, I know I've said this before, but this is what Patsy always says at the events. She says, you can peel it back up in 10 years when you go and put pictures in this kit. It'll be easy to put pictures in, which is kind of true. A lot of mine still do not have pictures. Maybe in 10 years I'll get it together. Okay, this other small tag goes right next to it. And see, this is the part, depending on what picture you have in here, where you want to move this around. If you need to move this over so more of the picture shows, then that means you will need to move this tag over a little bit so it doesn't show the edge of that little banner there. But I like it over here like this, with this tucked in behind a little bit. And the blue pieces you could actually glue down. I'm going to use Deep Sea. So this is kind of a darker blue. Navy is really close to this one too. This is just a little brighter than navy. There's also, what are some of the other blues? You could use one of the lighter blues, like sky blue. It's more close to this. But I kind of like to use something that's a little darker to use, or to give it a little extra dimension. I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down. I think I'll use the same color on this. And this can get messy too, because most of this will be covered with a photo. That gets centered on there. Tuck that back under a little bit. And then just remember, if you do glue these down, maybe just do the bottom part of this, and you could glue that one down where you need to, but this, you don't want to glue to that photo mat so that you can still add a picture in there. I'm just going to put a little bit along the bottom. Unless you are putting pictures in as you go, which I always say overachiever, because I never seem to get that done until later. Okay, so this gets laid down there. And the next two things we're going to do are these small tags. I was mentioning earlier that there's maybe some white around this corner or around the edges, so what I'm going to do is just take my yellow around the edge, and then you will never know that white is there. And chalk these up with blue. It's up to you. Use a blue, a yellow, whatever you're feeling. A little bit of glue on the back. And these go towards the bottom of the tag. And then 2 of those 5-inch pieces go through here. And I just tie them in 1 knot. You don't have to go around a second time. This is enough to hold it. Trim those down. Oops, I have my bad scissors. These cut paper just fine, but the ribbon, they don't really cut. Let's see, more in here. Pull it tight. These get glued down on the side here. And if you wanted to make more room for another photo right here, you could put these along the bottom, move them around. You want to use this space for more photos. Oops, I got this on kind of crooked. Going too fast. Let's see, I can move it. There we go. Okay, and most of the first page is done. You have a little bag of embellishments here. Let's see what I did with mine. Oops. Right there. Okay, so you have a little bag of embellishments. We try to keep these all in a little bag for you so that you don't have to go searching through your kit. And you can place whichever color you would like in the tops of these tags. In the instructions, we have a red one in the top of this one. And, oops, I didn't glue that all the way down. And then we have a darker blue one in the top here. So you choose which one you want. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the edge of this to hold it down. And then you have 2 little quote strips that we cut out. It says, "Keep smiling, live for today." And you just choose where you want those to go. I put them down off the bottom here. But if you have photos on there and you want to put them across your photo, you can. The only other pieces for this page are these smaller squiggly pieces. This can go down if you want to and then put your photo up here, or you can put your photo down, put this across the bottom of your photo. That's totally up to you. And if you've already glued some of this down, you can trim this down if you want to. I'm just going to put it across here so you know where it goes. And page 1 is done. So on page 2, I'm going to start by adding these, since they're already out here, little corner pieces. And again, I'm going to do about 1/4 inch from each side there. And I went ahead and glued those down because I know that I probably won't be moving them as far as the space that we need for photos and stuff. The photo backers that we need are, they're orange on one side, yellow on the other. And then we have the two 4x6s that will go on top of those. Just going to give it a little glue. Glue these down. I just love this glue. You use very little. So you can use it on the bigger pieces, but it's really nice for some of these little skinny pieces where you just put a couple of dots on there towards each end and it holds it on. It has a little precision tip so that you can do the skinnier pieces easily. Okay, I'm going to kind of place these. I'm going to glue mine down, but if you don't have photos in yours yet, and you may want to put photos in and move them around before you actually glue them into place. But I'm going to go ahead and hold these down here. About 3/4 of an inch from this one, and about an inch from the right side of the page. About 3/4 from the top, and then just to the right of your little corner there. Next we have this little piece that we are making into a pocket for the tags. So chalk that up if you'd like. I'm going to brighten this one up with some yellow. When you glue this down, you only want to glue the bottom edge so that you can use it as a pocket. I do the side a little bit and then across the bottom. And then this creates a pocket, which will go about a 1/2 inch up from the bottom. Actually, I'm going to move mine up just a little bit so it doesn't hit that. Oops. And then your last long squiggly piece, I'm going to put a couple dots of glue on there. That's going to go across your pocket. Right in the middle. And then you have tags that will go into that pocket. These could be little journaling tags. They could be for photos, small photos. These little pieces that come out of the middle, you could punch a hole here, make a little tag for a little journaling piece. There's some extra stuff in this one that would work for another page. So these line up right on top of the yellow tags. They have, one has this color on the back. Oops, what am I doing here? Oh, I have this turned the wrong way. Ah! I had the white piece flipped the wrong way so it wasn't fitting. Okay, I'm going to glue this on, and remember, don't glue the bottom so that you can put a picture in or a little journaling piece later. And then a ribbon goes on the top of these. There is a blue frame, goes on top of here. The great thing about this glue too is that it's clear, so if it comes out the side a little bit, it'll dry clear so that you can't see it. Okay, and with the ribbons, what we did was we folded it in half for these. You can just tie a knot like we did with these if you'd like to, or you fold it in half and you slide that folded piece through till it opens up enough to put these other two pieces through the hole and out the top. So you fold it in half, push it through, and if you want to, you can just pull one side through and just tie it just like we did over here. That would be just as easy. And then these get tucked into this little pocket. Last one. And you can go ahead and trim these ribbons down once you get them in there. I just don't have my good scissors with me, so it makes it difficult. So I'm just going to leave them like they are for now. Okay, we have two larger tags, and I'm going to, and this is why you would probably want to trim these down a little bit, because these tags go behind it that you can put pictures on. I'm going to chalk them up a little bit so they stand out a little more. I have to do the bottom because the bottom won't show, but these two get a brad in the top. And I lost my yellow brad. Use whatever color you have in there. They all match, so I'm just going to grab a color here. And the smaller one goes over here. And this is where you want to kind of line things up before you glue it down, just so that you make sure you have a picture that fits well right here and it's not cutting things off. This larger one slides behind here. And then up in the top here we have this little piece that is going to be a pocket. So again, you just want to do the sides and bottom. And on that bottom we have three little banners that I'm going to actually just stick right onto that glue. You do this whichever way is easiest for you, but I am going to stick it right onto that glue that I already put on there, and then these three banners hang out the bottom of your pocket. Oops, I don't know if I put enough glue there. Put this down over here. And this glue gives you just a little bit of time to adjust, and then it stays permanent. So within those few seconds, you need to kind of get things in place. And on the top, we have, I'm grabbing the two tags here. We have one tag left here, and I'm going to use my brad. I dropped one brad somewhere, so this gets tucked in here. Your last brad goes in here, whatever color it is, doesn't matter. That goes up there. Your little journaling pieces go on these tags. So you can go ahead and write, this small one is good for like dates. Add that to your little tag. This one gets put on over here. You can add a little extra journaling there. And you're set. Pretty simple kit. This paper line is called Secret Garden, And it's also using some of the Forget Me Not line, which is actually just put up on the website. So if you love this paper, check out the paper pack that goes with it. And I hope you enjoyed the kit this month, and thank you for being a member, and we'll see you next time.